Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. I am actually currently in Orlando. I spoke today at the Academic Forum for the HIMSS Conference, which is the Health Information and Management Systems Society. It is the nation's largest organization of folks that are interested in health IT and health information management and the management of health information, I guess is a better way to put it. There is an organization that's focused solely on health information management, which is really more about informatics. So I just did want to share, and actually I forgot to bring up I'll bring this up quick. I wanted to share something that I learned today about the HIMSS conference, and I think it might be a great opportunity for some of you that may be interested in these topics. So keep in mind that there's a lot of health IT stuff, which happens to be a bit more it's kind of techy. So if you're interested in the technology side of our industry, this is a great place for you to go. But there's also a lot of things like leadership in this portion of the industry, things like compliance with privacy and security rules, a lot of really interesting aspects to the management of health information. And as we've learned, not so much in this class, but in other classes, and you'll definitely learn moving forward, health information is really driving our industry right now. And when you think about things like artificial intelligence and precision medicine, aspects like that, this element of the industry is huge. And all one needs to do is look at the number of people that attend this conference. They're estimating about 45,000 people here at this conference, which is, I've spoken at a lot of conferences in my day, and that's certainly the most that have attended a conference that I've been at. It's also a great place to network. If you're looking to move up in the industry, and not just, maybe you want to relocate, but for example, in the exhibit hall here at HIMSS, there is a monstrous UPMC exhibit and exhibition area where the experts in these areas from UPMC are speaking and interacting with people. So because they are themselves pretty cutting edge in that area. So it's not just if you're interested in getting out of if you're in the Pittsburgh area, of getting out of the area, you can even gain some touch points with local people here at the HIMSS conference. So what I did want to share is this conference, they have what are called program assistants. And obviously for this particular cycle, it's closed because the conference started today. But they are students, undergraduate or graduate students. Obviously, you guys are graduate students, but they are students that serve as kind of volunteers throughout the sessions, and you're assigned to specific sessions, but then you're able to go to the other sessions and you're able to go to the exhibit hall. So really interesting, and it can provide you with great knowledge, but also with some great contacts in the long run. Just today, I probably met another 30 people that I didn't know that now have my business card, and we've interacted. And today wasn't even a networking day. Today was just the session that I happened to speak at. And then obviously there's a ton more that saw me and got my information from the session itself. So, so it's really great. The other thing that is nice about this particular conference, other conferences do this as well, like ACHE, they do similar things. But the one thing that's really nice about this conference is your meals are generally included throughout. Your housing is included as long as you're sharing with one of the other students that happens to be coming, and your conference registrations included. Conference registration for this conference is like $1,200 or $1,500. It's quite expensive. The only thing, transportation to and from the convention center is included. The only thing that's not included is transportation to the conference. It will be held in Orlando again next year, they announced today. If that is something that you're interested in, keep this around this deadline in mind. It would be the same next year, and the cost of travel to Orlando may very well be something that that our department may be able to assist with through a grant or something like that. So really great if you're not understanding or not sure exactly what types of things you would see or learn about at HIMSS. Just come to this HIMSS website. If you go to himssconference.org and just check out like the schedule, it'll show you the types of sessions that are being held. And actually, it's a little overwhelming. I'm still trying to figure out. Tomorrow is my day to, one of my days to just go and learn. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to go and see because there are so many things to see. So just a plug for this. And today was fabulous. We had a specific academic forum today. And that would obviously be something that you could certainly come to if you were coming next year, as long as it didn't conflict with a work schedule that HIMSS may provide to you. So on to the work of the week. So last week we talked about internal analysis. So we have the two types of analysis. Well, there are many types of analyses, but we've talked about kind of two types, internal analysis and external analysis. We focused for a couple weeks on that external side. Now we're going to focus actually for a couple weeks on the internal side. And one of the challenges, obviously we want to look at what is our value proposition. This internal analysis is what is our value proposition? What is the value chain that we have within our organization? And one of the difficulties with internal analysis is kind of internal honesty. How honest are we being with ourselves as far as what are our weaknesses? Strengths are usually pretty easy to pick out, and sometimes we're even too honest with our strengths as well. So we want to make sure that we are that we're honest with ourselves through the environmental analysis, and in both internal and external. But internal seems to be very focused on where are we falling short, and where do we have advantage over our competitors. So it's very important to remain honest with oneself in that process. So we talked about several different things this week, and I won't rehash all of it. But if you did have any questions on the analysis or how that fits into what you might do in strategic planning, please let me know. I'll speak quickly now about week 5 since I'm here in the Blackboard classroom. So in week 5, one of the major aspects of internal analysis is looking at our directional strategies. So what are our mission, vision, and values, and how do they play into our goals, our strategic goals for the organization? And again, how honest are we with ourselves about how we're progressing toward, say, reaching our vision? Because the vision is the kind of our future me. So that's current me deciding what future me is going to look like. And so that vision, those vision aspects, are we honest with ourselves? Is that something that we have the ability to attain? Even if it's a stretch goal, it might be something that's ways down the road. For example, at RMU, we just went through this process within our department and looking at stretch goals for vision for our own department. And we're looking to become more nationally recognized. A lot of our students come from the immediate Western Pennsylvania area. Our mission and our mission now is to serve the students that we have. Our vision is really to garner more interest in our program from a much broader reach, because anyone can take our program. We can have students overseas. We can have students right here in the U.S. From sea to shining sea. Anyone can take our program because they are online. So those are some of the stretch goals that we set, and that's fairly simple. But gaining the students isn't. But the notion of it is. But think about that in a hospital world. Maybe your vision is to focus more on that patient-centered care environment. Maybe your vision is to try and address social determinants of health. So there's lots of different things that you can incorporate in your vision, and it's all about being honest with oneself. So this week we're going to talk about mission, vision, values, and why. How vision is important to our organization. And then we're also going to look at some mission statements that you guys will find throughout wherever you want to look. It can be an organization you work with, an organization you've been to, or just an organization that you choose to look at. It doesn't have to be something that you're super familiar with. But then look at those and see how you may change those or make some adjustments there. So that's our work for this week. But I do have a couple of questions. Students did really well. You all did really well in the quiz this week. But I did have a couple of questions that I wanted to address. So the first one was a true-false. Any organization that develops a better product, delivers a better service, or establishes a substantial cost advantage will have competitive advantage. This was true-false. The answer was false. Because when you think about competitive advantage, there are certain tangible things. So these are those tangibles: better product, better service, cheaper overall. Those are kind of those tangible things. But there are a lot of intangible aspects that go into competitive advantage. For example, if I just bring it back to the Pittsburgh marketplace, if I put UPMC on the name of my organization, you have some competitive advantage there. Even though maybe everyone that works in that organization has never worked for UPMC, it's really just a connection between the two. You can gain some competitive advantage just by that connection with the reputation of an organization like UPMC, which is known to provide excellent care. Overall. A good example is St. Clair Hospital. So St. Clair Hospital, a while back, probably 3 years ago now, I think, they forged a relationship with the Mayo Clinic. Now, all that relationship is just that. It's a relationship. It's a contractual relationship between the two, where St. Clair sends executives and others to Mayo to learn about their organization, to learn about their processes. So there is some interaction, but I think that there's some confusion in the marketplace to think that St. Clair is now somehow part of the Mayo Clinic system. So therefore, you're going to receive the same benefits that a Mayo Clinic patient would have. Now, there is some interaction, like I said, with management strategies, those types of things, and also being part of that system likely garners patients at St. Clair or any of those affiliated hospitals that they have, but it likely garners them easier access into the Mayo Clinic system. So if you did have a patient that required maybe a high-level consult with a specialist, a person coming from a facility that has that direct connection may get in sooner or may get in as opposed to not getting in with this type of situation. So, but it's that type of those intangibles that sometimes also create competitive advantage over maybe someone that has a better product, a better service, or cheaper cost. So those intangibles also can be really important. Next question. Organizational strengths represent competitive advantages when they, so this was a multiple choice, several different answers. So in looking at the answers, answer A, if they are present in the organization, does that make it an advantage? Not necessarily. And that actually kind of goes back to the question we just looked at, in that someone has a better product than the guy down the street. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have competitive advantage. So just being present, having a strength just present, doesn't make it a competitive advantage. Are they more intense than the same strength in a competitor? So let's say Hospital A, Hospital B both put out good product, whatever it happens to be. Maybe they both have excellence in cardiac care. But one has slightly better outcomes numbers than the other, or maybe one has slightly has a decrease in their infection rates or something like that with cardiac surgical patients. Again, it doesn't, just a single data point or a single strength is not going to represent competitive advantage. Our answer is C. So organizational strengths represent competitive advantages when they are marshaled in a way that allows them to become strategic assets. So in taking all of those tangible and intangible strengths that your organization has, and you marshal them in a specific way that allows them to become a strategic asset for you, then that is when it becomes an organizational strength. You need to leverage those assets to show your competitive advantage over someone else that may have similar assets, but you are working harder, working smarter, and leveraging those assets. So hopefully that makes sense. Next question. And this is the last one. Like I said, everyone did pretty well overall in the quiz. So, an organizational strength is several answers here, but the correct answer in this case is an attribute, either tangible or intangible, that one organization possesses and uses successfully. So if you look at the other answers here, visible resources, perceptions that the CEO holds. There are lots of organizations, usually not the most effectively run, but lots of organizations where the CEO may feel that they have all of these great strengths, but once it starts to trickle down, you'll see those strengths kind of disappear because what is perceived is not reality in cases like that. And then the sum of all positive attitudes held by the executive team. That's a great thing to have, but a positive attitude is not going to bring you competitive advantage or necessarily be a strength, because sometimes those positive attitudes, again, like the CEO may be like, oh yeah, everything's great, and then as you filter down, it's not. Positive attitudes in the executive team on their own are not going to be a strength. There needs to be some tie. Why are they positive? What is happening in the organization to make it a positive situation for them? So that's all I have. Again, if you have any questions about HIMSS, please let me know. Also, one more thing, please I still haven't posted your grades to the last group assignment because I think I'm missing at least one, if not two, of those self and peer assessments. So I really can't, I'm going to give you a couple more days, but if I don't get them, I'm going to grade them without them. And the answers to those really do impact your grade. So if everyone in your group says that you didn't do anything, you are not taking the opportunity to defend yourself in those cases. So it's really important that you fill those out and get them back to me. Or if you submitted it in the classroom with your assignment, that's perfect. That was the goal, but not everybody did that. So I'll give a couple more days, but then I'm just going to post the grades as they stand right now based on the assessments that I've received. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be here in Orlando through Saturday, but I'm doing work in the evening, whatnot. So please, and I have my phone with me all day. I get my email on there. So please feel free to email me. You can call my office phone if it's something you'd rather say and not type. You can call my office phone, and I will get that message immediately as well. So if there's anything else, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll look forward to seeing you in the discussion this week. Thanks.